Hi guys, I'm interrupting right now and I do apologise for this ahead of time, but I have a new podcast called Confessions of the Idiots where I read funny / often weird online confessions each week to great guests. So far, including Sarah Snook, Sam Neill, William McInnes, Wendy Harmer, Judith Lucy, and so many more. The latest episode features Sir Peter Hitchener and Tony Martin.
Well, I always like the last story on the news, like after the weather.
Yes.
There's a dog on a surfboard, always good.
Oh, nothing nicer than
Nothing
that.
nicer
Or
than that.
a dog on a skateboard.
A dog doing anything, let's be
Especially
real.
with one of the little back legs helping it along. They look so cute. They can have as many of those as... I don't mind. They're so much fun.
And do they give you, are you reading the auto cue in something like, they say it's a dog's life, but, do they chuck those? Who comes up with those? Do you write those yourself?
No, those are composed by the producers.
Okay.
Is there someone that's
Good
head of
luck.
puns at Channel 9?
Oh, yes.
That's
that'd
their
be
full-time
Pamo.
job,
That'd
just
be
writing.
Colin Patterson. He's very good at
They're
it.
very serious, but very
Oh, yes.
stressed. I've got to have 10 puns by midday. So, guys, when you're finished listening to the debrief with the great Dave O'Neill, have a listen to Confessions of the Idiots with me, Sammy P. There's great episodes up there right now. There's 42, in fact. So you have your work cut out of you to catch up. But I believe in you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Confessions of the Idiots with Sam Peterson.
Yes, welcome to the debrief. It's Dave O'Neill. I'm in the car with Lehmo and Des Dowling. And where are we going, Des?
We're going to the Rosebud Hotel, Dave.
Yes, and Lehmo, we went there this time last year.
We did indeed. We dominated. I
But-
believe they stripped us naked and carried us shoulder high
With
from the venue.
with Lawrence Mooney.
You had Lawrence Mooney and you couldn't afford him this year. And you've gone for Mooney Light.
Yeah, yes. We're getting overtaken by this car. No, I remember it was a great gig last
I'll
year.
put the windows up, Dave. That might
It
help
was-
you.
The
real
window
good.
up. That'd be better for the
It
audio.
was really fun. They were bang up for it. I believe it's a once a year gig.
They do it once a year. Yeah. So
And they've got us two backing it.
I know. Well, thank God I've got all new material. I haven't, but anyway, we'll see what happens.
I would definitely be telling some of the same jokes. You know what I don't do that some comics do,
I'll write down.
but I just don't have the administrative patience or skill to do it.
Yeah.
Is they have a set list for every gig they ever do.
Yeah,
Marty Fields
Marty
does
Fields.
it.
Yeah.
So then they can go back and say, "Oh, I was here 3 years ago." I'm like, for me, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, I know. And you
Well,
always
I've
think,
got
you
no
always,
idea.
you try and think, the one thing I thought
Lemo's
of
phone's
doing-
ringing. Well, the thing is that you do tend to do that. Do you want to answer it? Answer it.
Oh,
Here we
he's
go.
gonna-
Hang on.
oh,
It's
he's
your
gonna
mum. It's
take
your
it
mum.
right.
Answer it.
Yes.
Anyway,
Hello.
Des, we can
Oh, good, thank you. Sorry I hadn't
haven't called you.
got back to you. We had a hectic couple of days.
All right, we'll be back on the debrief anyway. It's
We
getting
don't want to
get
interrupt.
personal, isn't it, Des?
I know, it cries.
We'll talk after the Rosebud Hotel. All right.
Have you called your mum?
All right, yeah. We'll be in touch. Ah, yes, and we're back on the debrief. We're in the car. We've done the gig. It's quite late
It's
because
very late,
Oh,
Dave.
man.
We're
It's
very
midnight.
tired.
On a Sunday night.
Lucky there's no school.
well,
Yeah.
Australia Day weekend.
Well, we got there and there was just people eating dinner in the bistro.
It was not a comedy room. It was a dining room.
A Bain Marie negates comedy room status
Yeah, it really does.
automatically.
So we had to wait for them to set up the room. When I saw that bloke wheeling in the stage, I thought, Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to finish at midnight.
And it almost did.
Yeah.
But it was good and we all went well. So
We got out unscathed.
Uncle Barry was there. You guys met Uncle Barry
Yeah,
and
Uncle
Judy.
Barry. So he seems like a lovely fellow.
He's a legend. That's Mum's brother. My mum's brother.
Yeah, right,
Well,
okay.
he didn't. You got him a complimentary ticket, but he was virtually the fourth act on the night. He was involved in every facet.
He really was, as was Luke.
Young
young
Luke.
guy up
Young
front,
Luke.
Luke.
Which, a bit embarrassingly, I talked that young family into moving up the front on
Oh.
the promise no one would talk to them.
Oh, that was them, and that was when I said to Luke, him and his girlfriend have been together 4 years, and I said, "So you're married?" And they said no.
So
And I said to her, if he proposed, would you say yes? And she said yes. So I left them with a fairly awkward drive home tonight.
But yeah, it was a good night. Rosebud, they were the winners.
Comedy was the winner, Dave.
Comedy was the winner.
Comedy was the winner.
Rosebud was the winner. We're the winner. We're all winners. Everyone's a winner.
What? And you were just saying before, you've just been on a live plane. I love live plane stories.
Oh, yeah.
Was that for a gig?
Yeah, it was a Grapes of Mirth gig, which Merrick
runs.
Yeah,
right.
and they're great gigs at wineries all around the country. So we got on I think it was an 8-seater plane at Moorabbin Airport. Myself, Fiona O'Loughlin, Nath Valvo, Dilrook, and Karl Wilson. And we flew to the Coonawarra in South Australia, just over the Victorian border. A little town called Penola.
How long did that take?
About an hour and 20 minutes or something. And it was a good flight. It was pretty comfortable. There were no issues on the plane.
But
no buts. It was good. But I've been on some terrible
hairy ones. Yeah,
mate. I was in the Philippines with my wife for our honeymoon, and we were flying from Boracay back to Manila, and flights were delayed all day because of typhoons. It was typhoon season. We took our honeymoon to the Philippines during typhoon season.
Smart move.
Yeah, smart move. But we're flying back, and all the flights are delayed. Eventually, we get on a flight. The configuration of the plane was 2 seats either side, about a 50-seater or 60-seater, but 2 seats were facing everyone else, right at the front of the plane.
Oh, weird.
Like not the jump seats, like on a train, right?
for the newlyweds.
And they were the seats we got, right? Now, we flew through the worst storm I've ever flown through. The plane got hit by lightning.
Oh, yeah.
And I was actually looking outside when it got hit by lightning.
Oh.
And it kind of did this zzz down the plane.
So that Twilight Zone episode, you seen that?
And when we landed, it was 1985. But anyways, it really adds a bit of pizzazz or a bit of sting to your fear when you can watch 50 people absolutely shitting themselves.
Oh, yes.
There's people praying, people have got rosary beads out, people are crying, a couple of people asleep, one bloke just reading his book.
Well, I had to do a gig on Lindeman Island for liquor salesmen, and I thought I was getting a boat. When I got to the airport, the person, I rang someone, they said, "Oh no, you're not getting a boat, you've got to go around to the old airport, in Mackay Airport, and get a plane." So it was like something out of a movie. I got a taxi around there, there was these old sheds, and there was an old guy smoking out the front. And he goes, "Oh, g'day, welcome to the airport. Just walk around the tarmac and the pilot will be with you soon." He seriously walked through 2 doors and then, "All right, let's go." And I get in the plane, just me and him, 2-seater, to fly to Lindeman Island, and he, I said, "Where'd you learn?" I was trying to work out how old he was. I said, "Where'd you learn to fly?" And he goes, "I was in the Vietnam War." And so my dad was in the Vietnam War, and he's 83. I'm like, how old is this guy? And then he started talking about how a lot of his mates had been dying, and that day he'd been to a funeral of another veteran, another pilot, and he actually said, as we're flying in the middle of nowhere, when your number's up, mate, your number's up. And I just started thinking, what if he has a stroke or a heart attack?
Hey, wouldn't you love a pilot on like a Qantas flight to say that? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, when your number's up, your number's up.
Well, that's why I used to think that in my previous life as a journo, you'd fly in the chopper for the news. And I'd always look at the pilot and think, "There's nothing. Got nothing if you go down." And they're all middle-aged fat guys.
Yeah.
But we flew.
Well, look at the guy that crashed into the DFO. Essendon. He didn't do. I was talking to a former neighbour of mine who works as an AMBO at the Essendon airport, and he said, "Well, I've read it in the paper too. He just didn't do his safety checks."
Yeah, he missed one thing.
Well, because he's just some old guy's been doing it forever and just goes, it'll be right.
Should be right.
When I was in current affairs, everyone used to. It was in the old, a bit more the halcyon days where money was no object and they would fly everywhere. And a girl in Swan Hill sued her school for bullying. This is 20 years ago. Oh, not quite. Maybe 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago. And a current affair, Hinch, and Real Life all took private planes, took straight up there to try and corner and get it exclusively.
Right.
And I got sent up there
To bully her into giving them an exclusive.
Yeah, this is oh no, they would coerce them. And this is, and a producer had done it already. It was already up there. This is why I fucking hate it.
With money? They're usually money?
Yeah, usually money would do it, or they would sweet talk them, which was I just hated. Anyway, I get up there. Martin King's on the other one. I forget who was there from Hinch and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, we've got this girl exclusively. And she's going to fly back with her mum and dad and us to Melbourne. They're going to put them up for the weekend. And then she's going to do the show on Monday morning. I think it was too late Friday. Anyway, we go back to the airport and there's this huge storm rolling in. And we all pack in the plane. And the woman goes, I've never flown in a small plane before. Oh. And it's 5-seater or whatever. And I'm next to the pilot, mum and dad and the daughter behind us. And we take off, and I notice Hinch's plane isn't taking off. And Current Affairs already gone. And we hear on the radio, they're diverting around the storm. And old Captain Fuckknuckle flying us decides that probably through it is the best way to go. And the other bloke didn't. The other bloke wouldn't take off. And anyway, we get going, and a bit like you, the storm. We get up into this storm, and it's like machine gun bullets firing, and the woman in the back starts screaming, and lightning starts flashing all around us, and we drop 30 or 40 feet at a time. Which I found out later, on a small plane, your wings can break off, and. I'm looking.
Right.
I'm looking. At
so you were fine on a chopper.
I'm looking at the pilot, and he's shitting his pants, like literally. You know how they usually. I've done this before. It's great.
It's all good. It's all in the training.
And then it'd go quiet, and then the bullets would start up again. The noise, like hail. The rain was just so intense, and he kept going. I'm going to get under it. I'm going to get under it. But he was saying it like a mantra. And I kept thinking, we're just going to go lower and lower, and then side of hill
until
you
hit the ground.
Literally, after an hour and a half of screaming and yelling, we made it to Melbourne and landed, and heard a bit later that I don't know if you probably don't remember, but there was a lot of storms around that time, and a flight at Wagga or somewhere flew into the side of hill and killed 6 people. It was that day. And that night.
Really?
They were going lower and lower trying to beat a storm and flew into the side of a hill. But I had my old HQ. And
did all your planes fly back to that hill to get the exclusive?
Well, turn around. No, I got in the HQ to drive around the Tan, where I forget where I was living at the time. And I was in a bit of a daze, like, you're still really shell-shocked. And I pulled up at the lights and I was the first one off. And I normally would have, the light goes green, I would have bolted pretty quick. But because I was in a daze, I sort of missed half a second, I missed the jump. Yeah. And a bloke shot the red light at 100 mile an hour. He was obviously, and the bloke next to me, we looked at each other as if I'd have gone, I would have got, no doubt I would have got killed.
So that chopper flight saved your life?
It wasn't chopper, it was a light plane.
The light plane flight saved your life?
In a weird way, there felt like the knock-on effect, but it was horrific. Like, I literally prayed the whole way, and you get into that zone of praying.
You just don't want to see a flight attendant praying?
No.
You look to flight attendants for comfort?
Yeah, you do.
Well, the only other one was flying. I got to fly business on Virgin, which was just through that little bit of purple plastic that they put up between. I don't know, why is it purple? I don't know.
That's the Virgin colours.
There was only 4 seats across the front. The head of the brewery in Adelaide, the largest privately owned brewery.
West End?
Coopers.
Yeah.
He told me that just as we took off. Nice guy. Then some other bloke across the aisle, and then a really tall, good-looking dude in a baseball cap who stood up once, and I went, hello, you're someone, because he had the tight shirt, big arms. And then I figured out it's bloody Thor, Liam Hemsworth. Is it Liam?
Right.
Liam, Thor.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there. So we hit the worst turbulence I've ever hit. And I'm shitting
What did Thor do?
Thinking, well, Thor's just got his
Thor's
legs
all
crossed.
over it. This is right in his wheel.
Well, he didn't even look up.
He cussed it.
He's reading something. He didn't look
up.
Out.
So he was cool as a cucumber.
He was cool as a cucumber. Yeah. The final flying story, my Jetstar flight delayed the other day. I text, if you need help, text us, support line. I text them, is this likely to be more delays? I have a gig, I have something I have to get to on the Gold Coast. the bloke who contacted me back, Zeus.
Zeus.
Really? Zeus?
Yeah, he goes, hello, I'm Zeus from Jetstar. I said, Zeus, I've got to stop you. Is that your real name? And he goes, yes, Mum and Dad were big fans of Greek
mythology.
And I said, well, it's very good to have the god of thunder and lightning in charge of our flight, Zeus. Didn't help me.
Nice. What else, Des, did you say to the people at Jetstar? Anything else?
Well, I tell you, they continually delayed me the next day, and I had to be at a lunch, which is quite important because, as you know, they pay quite well some of these lunches.
You're a working comedian.
So I've got 3 kids.
Go left here, mate. Go
so
left here. We don't want to go to Springvale.
I got to the airport and it was getting more delayed, and often the delayed flight would just be delayed till it goes past other flights that would have taken you there. So I thought, bugger that. I said to the woman, can I jump on that other flight? She said, they're going to leave at the same time. I said, yeah, but you're delaying that one and you work. She said, I can do it. And then she put me on it. Then I came back. That's right. I came back a bit worried because I was trying to hedge my bets. I wanted to make sure I got on the one that left first.
Yeah.
And the woman said, no, we can't swap you again. And I said, you realise you work for the worst airline in the world.
Yeah, that's a move that's not going to get.
I didn't say.
Did you say it as a joke?
Yeah,
or?
I said it lightheartedly, saying, I know it's not your fault, but one of them took it okay. I think she actually said agreed.
So you told this to a couple of people.
Yeah, well, they were sitting together. They were and then
Can't they just red flag you like that? You go, no.
Well, then
He's off the flight.
Yeah.
Then
guess who's going to be sitting near the shitter for the rest of his life?
well, then the original flight that was being delayed started boarding, and my flight that I jumped on was delayed again. Another one. It had a fresh delay, and I was talking to the guy on the phone and said, I don't think I can repair what I've done at the check-in desk. So I didn't go back and say, look, the crack about the worst airline in the world. I have flown Tiger, and it's compared to you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm not a get into them, and I said it in a light-hearted way.
I once at Qantas, they lost my bag.
Oh yeah.
No, well actually, yeah, they lost my bag. So I was in Sydney and I went to the desk where you complain about it. And the lady at the counter, she says, oh, well, you know, we don't know where it is, we'll look for it. And I didn't feel as though she cared.
No.
Yeah, right.
So I was furious, and I arced up a bit. And she said, sir, step away from the desk. You're going to have to calm down. And it was a real moment where I went, fucking hell, am I about to be arrested?
Yeah,
locked up somewhere?
That's the thing in an airport. You can't. You know, they can really red flag you.
Yeah.
I have to say that I lost my computer at a Gold Coast airport. I rang up and they found it and sent it back to me. And the next time I went up there, I took a present to the person who found it.
It can work.
But I was a bit vague about who found it. So I think someone got a voucher that may not have deserved it. The woman was like, oh, yeah, I think I was working that day. Anyway.
Well, you know how...
So, hang on a sec, you gave him a voucher?
Yeah, I gave him a voucher.
What was the voucher for?
Dave O'Neill DVD.
And my book. I had this discussion with my partner. What do you get someone who's...
Got everything.
Well, they're working in security at the Gold Coast Airport. They don't have everything. I got them a Liquorland voucher, I think.
That was good of you.
What if they were Muslim, though? But anyway, they could have given it to their friends or
Dave,
whatever.
you fly regional a lot like I do. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Regional, if
Rex.
you get on, they will take your bag sometimes and say,
it's
we're
too
going to have
big.
to put that in the back.
Yeah.
Well, I flew back from Tamworth, and as I was the very last person off the plane, and as the door, you know, you get the shuttle bus from the plane to the terminal.
Yeah.
And as I got on the bus, the door shut, and I thought, oh shit, was I meant to grab them? Were they leaving the bag there, or do they take it across with all the other bags off the back and take it to the conveyor
They
belt?
just leave your bag.
As I couldn't see it. I had a quick look and went, no, it's not there. But the rim of the door in the middle was covering my bag. And as the bus took off, I went, oh shit, that's my bag. And a woman said, they did yell out, is that someone's bag? But obviously you were still on the plane. I said, why didn't they yell that out when we're here. But I went, okay, fair enough. So I went to that place you went to.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
said,
Lost
I've
luggage.
lost my bag. And the guy went,
Yeah.
I'll go and find it. He came back a little bit with that, we don't know where it is. Go up to the lounge. You've got 2 hours till your connecting flight. I'll get it to you. He rings me half an hour later. I'm very sorry, but it's gone to Wagga. Because...
Is that where you'd come from?
No, I come from Tamworth, but numbnuts, who, after everyone had boarded, the bloke who always has the earphones, the muffler, the headphones on, he saw it there and thought, this must be going to the next destination, and just walked down the back of the plane and threw it back on. So it went to Wagga. But we got delayed an hour and it made it back before, so while I was up...
I also went to Wagga and back.
I was having ice Vovos up in the lounge. My bag went to Wagga for a trip.
Right.
And I reclaimed it back in Melbourne when I got there. So,
It all worked out.
not the worst airline in the world.
But you can see how, like, when Will
Qantas.
Anderson... Well, that was Wagga, wasn't it? Where
That
he
was
got,
Wagga, yeah.
Yeah, I
You can
do-
see how those things could happen.
But they're on a hair trigger now. Because I rang Telstra the other day and I had a phone replaced, and the guy said, "Yes, sir, how can I help you?" And I said, "I really want to complain about this piece of shit phone you sent me as a replacement because it's a refurbished phone."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm just going to stop you there." And I said it as if, "I'm going to stop you there and issue you with your first warning." And I said, "Well, I wasn't..." I said, "The phone was a bit of shit. I didn't say you were a bit of shit. I didn't say you."
Love it.
You were
I
just
said-
describing the
love
phone.
And then I said...
Did
then
you
I-
get quite angry with customer service people?
I said, well, just to get our parameters, how many warnings do I
Yes,
get?
well,
Do
yeah.
I have a
And what
couple more
happens?
in me? And he said, "You will not get another one." I went, we're okay. So I then resorted to...
That was your cue to say, "Oh, fuck you."
No, well then I just resorted to snide passive-aggressive comments, because they are far more cutting.
Because you can get banned. I remember, I won't name, but a comic rang me up years ago and said, "Why are you doing this Friday?" I said, "Oh, nothing. He goes, have you got a gig?" And I went, "No." And he goes, "Do you want to support the village people?"
I got the same phone call asking
Support
you.
the village people. I go, "What? Why?"
Yes.
This was a Monday. And the gig was on a Friday. I said, support the... I don't know, do they have bands? Do they have comics with the village people? Yeah, they... I mean, me and Des have supported the Four Tops, so it is a bit of a tradition in America to have comics before bands like that. And I go, but hang on, why can't you do it, the gig on Friday? And he goes, "I've got a cold." I said, "But it's Monday. You can do the gig." Turns out this comic had got banned from an airline.
Who shall remain nameless.
Because it was in...
Turn off the tape recorder.
Yeah, because it was interstate. And,
He got banned in the States.
No, interstate. It was interstate.
Oh, interstate.
Yeah, he
Right.
got banned because he started swearing at them about a bit of lost luggage, actually. And so it can happen. You can just get...
You get a bit fired up, you're tired, you're emotional.
I did say to an Optus guy once, I said, "I work for myself. I will talk to you all afternoon if I have to. Let's get it sorted. Let's just..." But you
Really?
can do reverse psychology, because I once found out I'd let my insurance lapse, and they said it was 9 months, and I said, "I haven't had an accident or anything." They said, "Doesn't matter, you're going from a rating 1 to rating 3. And I said, "But I've been with you 15 years. I haven't done..." And I said, "Look, I presume you can make this go away." And the guy goes, "Yeah, I can, but you've done the wrong thing." So that we're at a little bit... I said, "I want to speak to your manager," because they're always meant to put you through to the manager.
Yeah.
So I went to and he goes, "My manager isn't here. He'd have to call you back." I said, "I want to speak to your manager." So I figured out while I'm off the phone, I thought, he's going to go to the manager and go, "This guy's an asshole." Because we got a bit testy with each other. So he's going to say, "You ring him." And the guy's going to ring me on edge. I'm going to have to deal with an asshole. And so the minute he got on and said, "I'm here to talk about your stuff," I said, "Look, your staff are great. I can't fault their work. And I realise this has been a bit of a mix-up and I haven't done it." And he went, "Yeah, I'll sort it." No worries.
Oh,
I'll
really?
sort it. Yeah. And I said, "Thanks, mate. You're great, man." But if I'd have been an asshole when he rang, he would have been up for the fight, because it's only human nature. So
Well, it's like the cops say there's a 15-second... This guy I know who hangs around the local milk bar has joined the police force. Good on him, because he was just hanging around the milk bar. And he's...
What was your previous job? Hanging around the milk bar?
Hanging around the milk bar. To be fair, he lives 4 doors down and he grew up with a guy who runs it. Anyway, so he said he as a young cop, they send you out on every sort of policing, and he did the traffic. What are they called? Patrol? The arsehole. They've got a
patrol,
reputation as
yeah.
being the traffic patrol.
What do they call it? Highway patrol.
Highway patrol.
Highway patrol.
And
is that like the lower end of policing?
No,
but
Because always in movies they say you'll be writing traffic tickets for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, well that's a good point.
Well, my brother-
these guys are pretty. Your brother was a cop.
My brother was a cop for 16 years, and he used to be. Sorry, Dave, but my brother was very adamant. He hated when people told their kids to hate cops. So he would always do the test. He said if someone wound down the window and wasn't an arsehole and they had kids with them, he didn't book them. Because he wanted them to wind up the window and go, that cop wasn't a bad bloke.
Yeah, well, this is.
But the specialist ones were arseholes. He said they were.
The highway patrol guys.
Yeah.
He said they have a 15-second test or 10 seconds when they approach you, and if you're polite, they'll just fine you for the one thing. But if you're an arsehole, they'll fine you they'll roadworthy your car. They'll do whatever they want. It says like a little test. Yeah. So if you go,
Yeah, well, the cop pulled us up between Yarrawonga and Benalla going to see the oldies, and there's a sweeping bend where it drops to 80. Once it might have been a little... There's nothing there, but it's a sweeping bend. And as we came around the corner, I saw the cop pull out of the... And I haven't had a ticket for a long time. I've kept all my points. And I wound down the window and he goes, "G'day, kids." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm the one-man bloke in Catamatite." And I thought, I might be a chance here.
Yeah.
I thought I might be a chance. And he's going, where are you coming from? I said, well, I come from Melbourne, going to see Pa. We just put him into care in Yarrawonga.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, good kids. I've got 3 kids. I've got one." And I'm thinking, I reckon I'm a chance here. And in the end he goes, And I said, "Yeah, that sweeping bend, you always get a bit." Anyway, he goes, $330, 3 points. And I went, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, fair enough." He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to let you off today." He goes, "Oh, we'll give it a miss." And then he kept talking. And I said to my wife, I said, at that stage, I was thinking, well, wrap it up. I think he was just lonely. I think he honestly was...
Like you.
He was a lovely bloke. He was in case he's listening, and I'm out there again.
I was driving home from the comedy festival to Adelaide in 2003.
Every night.
Every night.
Dedicated.
Yeah, I was commuting. And so comedy festival was done. I'm driving back. I'm doing 130. And I can see hiding on the side of the road, cop car. I come past 130. Then I see in the rear vision mirror, lights flashing.
Excuse me.
Here we go. And so I pull over straight away. He says, "You were speeding." I said, "Yeah, I lost track of it there." He said, "Do you want to come and look at the thing, the reading?" I said, "No, it's fine." And he said, "What are you doing?" I was out of the car at this stage. I said, "I'm just driving home from Melbourne." He goes, "Oh, what's been going on in Melbourne?" I said, I was doing a show at the comedy festival." He goes, "Oh, right." He goes, "I love comedy." He said, "I love that Rove bloke on Channel 10. He's great." I said, "Well, actually, if you watch Rove, you might have seen me on there a few weeks ago. I broke the world record for most jokes told in an hour."
I remember that.
And he goes, "Get out of here." And he turns around to the other cop and he goes, "Barry, come over here." This bloke was on Rove. Anyway, we chat away from what he was asking me about comedy.
And you're thinking...
He lets me go, but not only that, he lets me go, but he says, "Another mate of mine's about 10 k's up the road, but after that you'll be fine."
Give it the berries.
All right. And another time I was driving from Adelaide to Loxton, which is where I'm from in country South Australia, and I had Fiona O'Loughlin with me. Pulled over on the freeway out of Adelaide. I was only just over this time. I'm talking to the cop. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I got a gig in Loxton." I said, "Actually, I'm on with, I've got Fiona O'Loughlin here in the car. She's on tonight." And he goes, "Fiona?" So get Fiona to get out of the car.
Yeah, good.
Talk to the cop, and he let us go.
That's good.
He was a fan of Fiona.
O'Neill is a serial offender for getting off bloody
I got caught.
Reputation.
I got caught twice on my phone talking to you, Des, both times. And I said to the cop, "I wasn't talking to him on my phone." He goes, "I saw you hiding it in your jacket." Your cops let me off. I was driving in Queensland from Mount Isa to Julia Creek in the desert, and I saw the cop car coming towards me with a thing on its roof, like a big radar. And then I said, "Do a U-turn." Lights go on, and he goes, you know. First off, he just goes, do you know what the speed limit is around here? And I go, 110. He goes, you're not from around here. I said, no, I'm from Melbourne. He goes, it's 100 in the middle of nowhere, like one of the most remote parts of Australia. It's 100 k's.
It should be 150.
Well,
Yeah, it should be. And he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to do a men's health night in Julia Creek. He goes, I'm going to that. so he let me off.
Well, my mate was in the Atherton Tablelands, and he said he was driving in a ute. He was on cruise control, and the ute went past at 140. And he thought, shit, that's flying. And he said, next thing a cop comes straight up behind him, pulled him over and went, you were flying, you were doing buddy. And he goes, mate, that wasn't me, that was that ute. And he goes, nah, would not believe him.
Really?
Yep, and the lawyer told him, look, if you had something you could prove with the technology on the car,
Yeah,
he said,
dash cam.
you're going to spend more money fighting it. But he said, this copper either had the register thing and then couldn't be fucked chasing the guy. Didn't want to chase him. So he just put it down to him and said, you're the one,
God.
you're done.
Look, you're listening to the debrief here. We're talking cops.
I forgot
who
we're
we
on there.
love.
Yeah. We love.
We do.
We love cops.
I was down
We
to 1
do.
point for
We
2
do.
years. So
1 point. Oh man. Anyway.
I got a friend of mine who I won't name, but she, her partner got done speeding and lost 3 points.
Yeah.
And he said to her, "Can you take the points?"
Which is very normal in a
Which is
relationship.
very
Which is normal in a
and
relationship.
very
Yeah, my
illegal.
wife.
And very illegal. And she says, "Yeah, sure, I'll take the points." So she takes the points, but she can be a bit ditzy, or not across the admin in her
Oh
life.
no.
She was up to 9 points, so she lost her license after taking points, and he was up to like 6,
Ah,
but didn't want to go to 9, and she didn't know how many she was
That's
at.
no
So
good.
she lost her license.
That is no good. We'll be back on the debrief.
If you're looking for another podcast, why not tune in to me, Karl Quinn, and my co-host Andrew Young on The Clappers, where we talk film, TV, theatre, music, art, books, all kinds of things. And let's not forget cycling. That's us on The Clappers. Search for The Clappers where you're listening now.
You're back on the debrief. My questions I ask everyone. So what went well tonight and why?
I think
We
everything went well.
should be able to answer that really quickly.
Well,
Yeah, well it went...
I think the fact that we had 4 blokes called Mick who were electricians.
That was
Oh,
incredible.
yes.
Like that's like lining them all up the oranges on
Yeah.
the pokey machine.
that is a
Ding, ding,
gift.
ding.
That was funny.
You did that beautifully.
Comedy
That
there.
was funny.
payout.
What didn't go well?
The fact that we
Started late.
20 minutes
Yeah.
late. The
So-
room wasn't set up when we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people eating dinner, but that all finished and
It was probably a late start.
then punters were going, do we really have to leave? We're finishing our dinner.
Oh yeah, people were having to go at us,
Yeah.
but having to finish their dinner.
Hilarious.
Or what about the bloke in the bar that hugged me twice?
Oh,
Yeah,
that guy's
very
annoying.
On the show.
And he had the little, and not being a millennial, that little moustache they have, which,
Yeah.
The World War II one, yeah.
yeah, if you trim a little bit off either side, you're very close to Hitler.
It's a-
Yeah.
It's a real hipster.
He just
Right.
couldn't believe you were there. And then it was like he had to hug you twice to make
And
sure you were actually there.
And he offered me a drink, I think, about 13 times.
Yes.
He was lovely, but he was very close talking.
Oh,
and very
I know.
huggy. I don't hug strangers. It's not my
Nah.
It's not my go.
no.
But I didn't want to be
No,
rude.
you're from the land.
So I hugged him.
You're from the land.
You're a farmer's kid,
Yeah,
yeah.
we don't know. Like a,
No hugging.
a really firm handshake.
My next question, we've already covered it, but any organisational hazards that got in the way? Many. What about, Des, when you were on, they set up the stage in front of the servery and they were cleaning cutlery.
You just,
It was crashing and banging.
but to be fair,
you made the
probably
comments.
wasn't as bad for the people. It was worse for us probably than the people.
That wasn't... But
You could hear it.
Oh man, when you said that, it was very funny. Like,
But
I've had guys cook pizzas behind me, and keep talking and stuff. It is bizarre when you're on stage.
I remember doing a gig in at a pub in Adelaide, and they refused to turn off any TV screens.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there were betting facilities the tab was right next to the stage, and there were screens above your head, so people are just watching races. And
Yeah.
while the gig was on.
Was
My career was flying at the time.
Not being a punter, did they have that weird screen that's got like fake horse races on it? I still don't get
They had that,
it.
oh, yeah.
Where you go, is that the first time I saw it, I went, wow,
But
they
you know
are
what-
shit-looking horses.
But you know what gets me about that? They've got races with fake horses, right? Do you know how many things you can bet on? Yet still, in addition to the trots, the dogs,
Yeah.
the horses here, Hong Kong, South Africa, wherever, they still have to put on fake.
Yeah, I know. Have you-
so they can bleed you dry.
And how do they know someone has to decide who wins, which presumably that someone has
Yes.
knowledge of who.
Yes,
it's
they
like
could
when-
tell someone.
It's like in the Indian betting scandals when they go, he's going to bowl a no ball, third ball third ball of his 15th over, and they go, people will bet on it. Now, if someone rings me up and goes, I want $3,000 on a no ball, you go, well, why would you? That's
Sure.
got to be. It's
Do you want to hear you might appreciate this gambling joke. A gambler told me this. Said this is very funny for gamblers, all right? A guy standing at the TAB or whatever, and he says to his mate, oh, I've had a terrible day. Lost $100 on the trots. I lost 50 on the greyhounds. I've lost 60 on the thoroughbreds. I've lost bloody 200 on the AFL and 100 on the cricket. He goes, well, there's nothing left to bet on. He goes, well, there's a soccer match. You can bet on that. He goes, oh, fuck, what do I know about soccer? Apparently that's a good betting joke because he obviously doesn't know anything about anything. Great betting jokes.
I like it. It's good gear.
It's good gear. We should have opened with that
Should
tonight.
have opened with that tonight.
We also had the tennis going on. When you started, Des, the men's final was on, and
Someone ran in the room and said, Djokovic won!
Yeah. Did you hear that, Des?
No, I didn't. All I did was I saw Djokovic fall to his knees
That's
on the
right.
other side and start patting the
And you said, is he praying or something? What's happening? What a gig.
Any organisational difficulties? There is one more, Dave, that you're not across yet.
Yeah.
Des picked me up before he picked you up. I live in Fitzroy. There's a street that has the same name as my
How do
street.
you even say your name? Oh, I can't say your name.
In Carlton.
Oh, did you go to Carlton,
He went
Des?
to the Carlton street and not my street.
And then got in a bit of a weird up. I had to cross Brunswick Street, which some guy was sitting very slowly waiting, but there was trams.
Oh,
It was a bit special.
Did you go and knock on the door? Of the
Yeah,
house?
I went up. Yeah, I went up and I wanted to see the Lehmo household, and I got.
No, but did you go in Carlton to the house?
Oh no! I realised I did that thing where you don't back your instincts, and when you texted me the address,
Yeah.
I immediately just pressed that in messages, and it went straight to the map, and I went, that looks about right for Fitzroy. It goes over a bit further than I thought. I should have backed myself and had a look because obviously I was in the wrong spot.
But Des did come into the Lehman house.
Very.
Des was asking me if I'd seen your baby. I'm pretty sure I saw it this time last year when I picked you up for this gig.
Right,
Yeah. I went into the
Very
Lehmo house.
All things cute because we're all dads.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we're all doing a great job. How can we do better next time? That's the last
As
question.
dads or comedians?
Comedians with that gig. You know what? We can start it an hour earlier. You know what the sound guy told me?
Yeah.
There's a band room. They've got a function room there.
Upstairs.
Yeah, there's one upstairs. There's another. He goes. We thought we were in there.
And then people can have their meals and stay there.
Yeah.
And then you get people coming to the comedy room. Well, next time.
Next
they get us
time.
back next year. Dave, you and I have done this 2
2
years in a row now.
And we can have a break.
I was honestly on stage thinking, at a couple of points, I reckon it felt like all those people were there last year and they all...
Yeah, I had the same feeling at one point too. When one of my jokes didn't go as well as it normally goes, I just thought... Because one guy on the toilet did say, yeah, I was here last year. So then you start to think, was everyone here last year?
They were an older crowd though, Dave. They were...
Yes. I don't think some of them
So what are you saying?
Some of them
Some
of them won't be around next year. Anyway, thanks for going on the podcast, guys.
Good on you, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
No,
it's been awesome.
Good fun, Dave.
Good driving, Des, too, by the way.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Thanks
good
you
work.
guys for slumming it in the Corolla.
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
Can I just make a comment about Des's driving?
2 fingers.
There's 2 fingers. He has not budged over 100 kilometres an hour.
No, I don't.
He hasn't even got to. He hasn't even gone to 101.
I'm
You
on
can
cruise
go
control.
101, you know.
No,
that.
well, I normally sneak up around 105.
Did you know? So you know when you drive from Geelong,
Yes, I know what you
they
mean.
tell you the speed.
Yeah.
I was because I was suspicious about this, so I in my car was doing 110, and the thing came up 101.
Yeah, it drops you by...
Yeah,
So
it does it on purpose.
Does that mean that our speedometers are deliberately out?
I wonder a lot of it, because I often get overtaken when I'm sitting on 105, or if you just edge up a
Yeah.
bit, but...
Well, you know the cops won't fine you if you're 101. They'll fine you if you're 102, 103 in a 100 zone, but they won't fine you for 101.
Have you ever driven in Canada?
No.
They told me... We drove 200 or 300 k's from London, Ontario to Ottawa, or further actually, it's 4 or 5 hours. They rock it, and my father-in-law said, 120, they won't book you. And I said, well, why don't you just make the speed? And they won't. Everyone does 120 in the 100.
Really?
Yeah, right. But they won't book you.
He said they won't book you. So, but even there I was being conservative.
Yes. Yeah, you're a bit of a nana driver.
Well, that's because I had 1 point, and I've quite enjoy having 12 points back, so screw you guys.
You've got 12 points to play.
Come on.
I know, but I had...
Fang it.
Dave, I've since you said that, I've bumped it up to 104,
Oh,
so
cool.
you guys can back off.
All right. Well, we have to go.
Well, you'll get home eventually.
Oh, man.
I've still got to go to...
You've
where
got
I
to go to
live.
Wood End.
Wood End, out in the sticks.
Thanks again, guys. And we should plug... You do the Comedy Festival, Lehmo?
I'm doing the Comics Lounge.
Do the Comics Lounge.
Oh,
yeah, I've done
Comedy
that.
Festival.
Sweet gig,
Hey,
sweet gig.
I'm doing the Launceston Comedy Festival,
Oh, that'll be good.
which is runs for a week in March. Chris Franklin's helping to organise it.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, I think it was Chris's brainchild.
Well, there'll be a lot of free beer. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
He would have drank it all. I haven't had him on this podcast. I've got to get him on. Anyway,
Righto.
see you again.